This is what your main says about you in Valorant. Let's go! Even though your main has been hit pretty hard last patch, you still believe in her big brain outplayability and still prove yourself with smart star placements and conservative strategies. Or you just switched over to Omen and Brimstone. You're the type of person that doesn't like taking fair fights. You'd rather steal candy from a toddler instead of engaging in a real brawl with other adults. Especially if they're not half-blind and can't move that well. Your ranks were primarily filled with people who mostly played duelist and were forced into your role. But after the buffs, you finally feel that your choice of agent has been legitimized, and you now rush sides almost every round with your team. You either love the way Chamber's dressed and have a good fashion sense, or you're a duelist main but your team already picked the ones you wanted to play. You prefer to outbrain your opponents instead of out-aiming them, if possible. You try to surveil the entirety of the map, set traps and always plan ahead. Sadly, often to no avail, because all of your teammates already rushed side and you're now stuck in a 1v5. Clutch or kick. You have perfected the art of insta-locking and binge-watch videos of all kinds of different Jett players, whether it's Korean Jett, CNET, TENS, Yay, Som or even Prod. Trying to copy some of the tech and utterly failing. Some of you actually try to entry while others just bait their team for the entire game. Most of you just end up bottom fragging though. Sad! You feel like you're doing your job to the best of your ability, but most of your teammates don't know how to work off of your utility. When you try to set them up, they end up flashed or don't even push. The info you gather with your knife goes ignored, and when you get downed in your ult, you either don't get revived at all, even though the site is clear, or they try to revive you while 4 enemies are picking you at the same time. Similar to Cypher, you also enjoy setting traps, but instead of doing the job yourself, you let your robots do most of the work. And there's this morbid side of you that enjoys seeing your enemies suffer to get through your utility. And there's nothing more satisfying than to knife an enemy who's been detained. Your teammates might scream at you if that backfires, but you always go for it anyway. You love the feeling of going fast and sliding onto the side with the help of your wall. Even though you end up stunning yourself half the time and some people push your fast lane while you're sprinting through it, most of the time you still come out of it alright. And people in lower ranks can't stop crying about your ult being quote-unquote broken. You guys went missing for quite a while, but now you're back in full force and trying to abuse the stronger teleport as much as possible with an about 20% success rate. But despite that, you can now smoke more reliably for your team and not flash them as often, but you do still flash them. You can only play him in unrated or the lower ranks of play since your team starts screaming at you the moment you consider picking him in anything above silver. Yet, you still believe that his ult is really good, even though his flashes have a too limited range and you primarily use your utility to heal yourself instead of taking space. You watch flights and love to make things go boom. Yeah, that's about it. You're one of the most beloved and hated people in Valorant. Either you end up carrying your team or you get completely stomped. But whatever the case, your teammates are going to flame you if you decide to lurk for even a single round. You hate your Elias more than Phoenix players enjoy flashing their teammates, but at least you can get your armor back when you're healing yourself. You have probably the most stressful job, because you need to slow down enemy pushes and have to attend to all the players on your team with only a single heal, which oftentimes includes the duelist that has taken 2 points of damage on the other side of the map and demands a heal from you. But everyone shuts up when you start pulling out your Grim Walls and top frag to get the dub for your team. Or you get absolutely annihilated and your team flames you for being useless. It's hard to say whether you or Phoenix mains end up blinding your allies the most, but at least your flashes are on cooldown, so it gives you a leg up in the competition. You try to avoid having to heal your team as much as possible, and you get an orgasm every time you get a kill with your dog. But you also get pretty annoyed when your ult gets stuck on something stupid and runs out before finding anyone. Alright, please fix. You try to learn as many lineups from average genres as you can and use them in your games. When they work, you're hailed as a god and loved by your team. If you mess up though, they tell you to delete the game and go back to Minecraft. You don't use as many lineups anymore, since the most recent nerf, but you still try to go for them from time to time. But with less uptime when both your wall and smoke are up simultaneously, you find it harder to lurk and find value when trying to control the map. Your ult is still pretty OP though, even though you could smash your fist through your monitor when you get randomly spammed through it and die. Or you just main her because she's hot. Respectable in any case. You used to be the laughingstock of the community, having to justify your choice every match you played with your performance. But with the introduction of his rework, you and your clan now have the last laugh when playing the opposition and blinding your daughters before shooting them in the face. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and had fun. My name is Manjoma Thunder, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, sayonara!